The Raiders are going to win Super Bowl 61. It is going to be a tribute to the death of John Madden. He died December 28th of 2021. The amount of time from his death to the day of the Super Bowl would be just over 49 months later. The last championship for the Raiders occurred against the Washington Redskins. It's Washington, that's Gematria 49. So over 49 months later, the Raiders are going to win the championship. It would be the 107th season of the NFL. It is the Raiders. They're going to win the 107th season of the National Football League. 60 prior Super Bowls. It's Oakland Raiders. That's Gematria 60. The Raiders won 2 Super Bowls at Oakland. The Raiders win Super Bowl 61. Las Vegas Raiders is 61. John Earl Madden is 61. Take a look at the Washington Redskins, the team the Raiders beat in Super Bowl 18 for their last championship. Vegas Gematria 18. The Raiders' last championship in Super Bowl 18. The amount of time from John Madden's death to February would be 4 years in the second month, just over 4 years in a month. It is Madden, that's Gematria 41. It's Super Bowl, that's Gematria 41. But check this out. The Raiders are going to win the Super Bowl. After 42 years without winning, they're going to win the championship 43 years from Super Bowl 18. 43 years later, the Raiders win the Super Bowl. It is LA Raiders, that's Gematria 42. The Raiders were in LA when they last won the Super Bowl. Their last title occurred against the Commanders. Commanders is Gematria 42. 43. John Madden, Gematria 43. The Raiders win the championship 43 years later. Hopefully Derek Carr goes back to the Raiders. Derek, Gematria 43. Derek Carr can come back and lead the Raiders to the championship 43 years later. But he has a 4-year contract with the Saints. It will most likely be with somebody else. But the Raiders are winning the Super Bowl. They're going to win the Super Bowl with a mystery quarterback. Hopefully it can be Derek Carr. Hopefully it can be Mr. Derek Dallas Carr at the quarterback. Bring Carr back. Because this franchise is a joke. Franchise is a giant joke. They're just complete losers in everything that they do. Tom Brady, 6 years after Super Bowl 55, he can win the Super Bowl as minority owner. Perfect. As GOAT of the NFL. Perfect. 43 years later, the Raiders win the Super Bowl. After John Madden's death, 42 years without win. LA Raiders. The Raiders were at LA. They beat the Commanders. Commanders, Gematria of 42. Their 7th season, Las Vegas. Tom Brady, 7 Super Bowl titles. Their 67th season overall, the Raiders. They last one as the LA Raiders. It is the Los Angeles Rams that have won a Super Bowl for LA. So the Raiders will win in their 67th season in the National Football League. Madden won Super Bowl 11 against the Minnesota Vikings. Outside from Super Bowl 61, from Super Bowl 11. That would be 50 years later. They could win with Tom Brady as minority owner. Brady, Gematria 50. The Rose Bowl, Pasadena. The Raiders' last championship was at... John Madden won a Super Bowl at Pasadena, I should say. Pasadena is the Gematria of Super Bowl 61. Pasadena, California, Gematria 77. Brady won his Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Over at Tampa. The Raiders' last championship was at Tampa. They can win with Tom Brady as minority owner. So, based on the news, it's pending NFL approval. But Tom Brady is going to win the Super Bowl with the Raiders. With the Raiders. Brady's last game was with the Dallas Cowboys. The Raiders win the championship 43 years later. The Dallas Cowboys is Gematria 43. See, go to Bucks Cowboys here. Tom Brady last game in the NFL. January 16. Tom Brady's last game. His last game in the NFL to the Super Bowl. And Tom Brady can win the Super Bowl just over 36 months later. The 37th month. After losing to the Bucks. He was a champion all these years with the Patriots. Patriots is Gematria 37. Raiders for a Super Bowl appearance in Super Bowl 37 at San Diego. 24 years later, they win the Super Bowl. The tuck game, number 24, was Charles Woodson. Owner Mark Davis can win the Raiders next championship 43 years later. Mark is Gematria 43. Mark Davis and Tom Brady. Now the Raiders next championship in Super Bowl 61 in tribute to John Madden. It can happen with Tom Brady sometime after the Raiders last championship in Super Bowl 18.